after 3 weeks, he was knackered. So I made the decision to pull the plug.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode, and they are episodes of the Lack of Focus podcast with me, Matt Bentley, and with me today, as usual, is Harvey Quinn. Harvey.
Good afternoon.
Well, it is the afternoon,
It is the
and
afternoon.
it's a bloody good one. Good to be back with you. Good to be back with our listeners and the viewers, of course. Mainly the viewers. You're champion the best, but the best. Easy for you to say. Harvey, lots to get through this afternoon, today. So we're going to keep the chit-chat to a real minimum.
Yeah.
How have you been? It feels like we haven't been here for a while. Let's get in. Let's dive deep. Go on.
Yeah, I've been well. It's the end of May, beginning of June. You wouldn't know it from the weather.
No, you would not.
Walked here in the pissing rain.
Did you? Is it raining now?
Oh, it's pissing rain. Yeah, yeah.
I got here before Harvey because unlike some people, I find that, if you are late to something, then it implies that you think your time is more important than theirs, which it isn't.
It's not.
So normally it's, Harvey should have arrived. But it's okay. It's
fine.
Late.
I was on time.
You being late today was good for me to know because I'm softening so much, man.
Are you?
Yeah. I'm really softening as a
How
person.
so?
I'm just letting some things go.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Do you know what? I have a theory on why we've. I feel that the past few weeks I've felt all right. I'm just going to relax a little bit.
Me too.
And I think you have, and I think it might be because both of us have spent the past few weeks being eviscerated online.
That is well.
I mean, look. Here's a secret. If you want to be eviscerated online, just have an opinion about anything.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
You took more of a kicking than I. So the thing is, listen. Someone once said to me, if your biggest asset is what you look like, then you're going to do some ho shit.
I like that.
And naturally, he said it to the internet and therefore to me. It was 50 Cent. 50 Cent to this Philly. And I overheard it, so indirectly to me. And I completely agree with this. Now, my comments on the podcast that we went on, the Pulp Fiction, whatever the fuck it's called podcast, who cares? We went on their podcast and they... it's a visual medium and they edited me in a really pretty abusive way. But I still got so many comments basically just like, yeah, I want to bang this guy,
Cool.
Right? Which now wind the clock back 3 years. That's all I want people to say about me.
Yeah,
that's all I bloody want.
Baby.
And now all the comments were either from men being like, this guy's a piece of shit and I hate him. And then every other comment was just like, the one I got a lot was I need him. Which I like. I like it, but I want you to listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I want you to listen to what I'm saying now.
Dial in. Because
also
you must
realize I meticulously rehearsed what I was going to say is rehearsed. I rehearsed it all the night before. They give you the questions a week in advance. I think about it. I think about what I'm going. My good friend Dickie came over and saw and watched both our own. We were drunk as skunks in my front living room. I mean, really quite a wops up doll. And he was like, "Nah, but you've just come off the bat. You're not even thinking about that." I was like, "Dickie, do you're a director.
Yeah,
you know how the industry works.
You know, we talked about being on.
Yeah, I'm on all the time. There's never an off switch. I was going to say your comments, however, are they're not actually that abusive to you, but Harvey got very cross that they didn't understand what they're like agreeing with him for the wrong reasons. They're like, I really like this guy, great opinions, and he was like, no, you don't get what I'm saying.
Okay, number one. Right, so I basically went on and another comment. A lot of the comments on that video were why who cares about the random dude off the street? Well, it wasn't a random dude off the street. Yeah, I was like, well, no, number one, they approached us and they gave us the questions ahead of schedule, right? So we had a bit of time to prepare. And another thing, a lot of people were like, Poor Things was the worst movie he saw. Did he not watch Madam Web? Of course I didn't watch Madam Web.
That's a really, really good point.
Of course I don't watch fucking Madam Web. I watch 4 movies a year, if that.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah.
And I make sure that they're good.
You should be watching more movies than that year, brother.
Yeah. I get sick of them, though.
No, I know. They are shit. They're shit. They should be better.
I know. They wind me up.
They really edited down my questions as well. They're like, what film are you looking forward to seeing in 2024? And I said, none of them.
Yeah,
they're going to be their fucking shit.
Yeah.
But because they're a film podcast, I guess they sort of have to... By the way, I think one of those guys definitely likes us more than the other one does. You know me. I go a lot on gut instinct
Gut
on
instinct,
people,
yeah.
right? And my gut instinct is that the taller, darker hair chap
Yeah.
likes me, and the blonde chap don't like me. And that's just, and I don't.
I think
both of them were equally as nice to me.
I think they both hate you. I think they both can't stand it.
Yeah, and I don't mind.
me.
I don't mind. No, you see, Harvey, the thing is, you have a lot more sincerity. You wouldn't believe it listening to the dross that he comes out with on this show, and it is a show.
And it is a show.
But he's a lot more sincere than I am in real life.
It's probably true.
I'm a lot more flippant. I don't really. I think I'm quite similar to how I am on this show in real life, and I think you are, depending on who you're going to be that day.
Depending on who I'm going to be this
in this studio. I mean,
yeah,
you know what I mean,
yeah.
But so we took a lot of abuse on the internet. I took a lot of nice comments.
Lovely.
The main thing to note here is that of all the guests they've had on, we have eclipsed them in terms of views and likes by about 1 million, and that's not an exaggeration. We have taken it to new heights. And the reason is everyone else who went on that podcast just gives answers. You have to give a performance. It is all a show. Never, ever forget, you are not interesting. You are not interesting. You have got to do something to make yourself interesting. Unless you
really are.
Unless you're Jake Gyllenhaal, who is a very interesting man.
Do you think he's an interesting young man?
Yeah, because he's the only one who is, he's just gone scot-free. He is chopping and shopping birds in and around New York on the daily, right? Franco couldn't do it. But Franco wrote about it like banging birds in his book. Don't write a book.
Don't commit it
James,
to text.
James. Icarus with your waxed wing.
And don't. One of the things he did was, it was with students, and he'd be like, well, I'll get you a film role if you do a topless scene in class now. It's like, James, you're breaking the law, James. You're breaking the law, James.
James, someone's going to go to prison.
Yeah, and it's not going to be anyone else other than you.
It can only be You're the head of the studio, James.
James, the buck has to stop somewhere.
Jake gets away with it. Leo can't get away with it. He's all the joke. But Jake is a middle-aged man, been famous for bare time, smashing birds left, right, and centre. Do you know the thing he does? Have you heard his eye fucking thing?
Yeah, he just stares at people.
He just stares at hot birds. Love it.
That is... It's terrifying.
Creepy as shit if you're not Jake Gyllenhaal. But if you are Jake Gyllenhaal, also, I just think he can. I said the other day that Jack Black's going to drop his Oscar soon. He's gonna go for it. Jake's gonna put his hat back. He tried for Nocturnal Animals a couple years ago. Didn't quite take. Great, nice movie. Nightcrawler. He really went in for Nightcrawler.
He's good in that movie.
Jake was a fantastic actor.
Yeah, he's a fantastic actor, isn't he? Yeah.
He's a fantastic actor.
Brokeback Mountain, he was nominated, was he?
Heath was nominated.
Don't
think Jake was nominated, no.
Oh, fine. Not that the awards matter.
Actually harsh.
Yeah, but
on
the thing that annoyed me about the Pulp Kitchen interviews
That's
we did.
Their name. Yeah.
The Pulp Kitchen.
Go on.
You touched on it briefly. People were agreeing with me. But people were agreeing with me for the absolute wrong reasons. They were like, yeah, it was disgusting. It was a movie that glorified paedophilia. Firstly, no, it doesn't.
Does it?
No, it doesn't.
I haven't seen it, won't see it, can't stop, won't stop.
You won't see it. But it people were annoyed that like, oh yeah, he didn't get it. He didn't get the no, I got the message. The message is just tame and boring. The message is like is rubbish. It's like it's a beginner's guide to feminism. It's boring. And the message is not, it doesn't mean that much. What meant that much was the movie is just boring. It's just boring. And people didn't, and not one person really in a comment section of probably about 800 comments, not one person really understood the comparison to Wolf of Wall Street. They were like, oh, he didn't get Wolf of Wall Street either. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Wolf of Wall Street is a great movie, fantastic movie, but I think it fails on the message being greed is bad.
The main thing about the Wolf of Wall Street thing is the aftermath of that. You literally watch Leo punch his pregnant wife in the stomach and like scream at her and drive a car through a wall, and the Wolf of Wall Street, the real guy, has a big career and is idolised off the back of it. The guy's a cunt. Let's not make a mistake here. The guy is a monster.
And he was at the premiere, wasn't he? Shaking hands with Leo, producer credit. The idea that like, and don't get me wrong, I think Wolf of Wall Street is one of Scorsese's best movies.
It is probably one of his
best. It's a phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
But as a message that greed is bad, it fails
completely.
But that's not the point of that movie. Do you know what I'm saying? So that was the comparison I made. The Poor Things thing as a message that sexual freedom is fantastic for women. Whatever the fucking message of that movie is.
Yeah.
It's not that good, and it fails on the message because you're still ultimately putting out a movie with loads and loads of gratuitous sex scenes that don't need to happen.
I think the good thing about being on that podcast and the way that we did it was because obviously I look very tired on that show.
Sure. First thing in the morning, though.
There's a podcast. But we didn't do any research into them. I got a little DM being like, "Hi, would you like to come on the show?" And I just basically say yes to everything at this point. I'm like, "Yeah, whatever. Fuck it. Let's just go down to it, right?" And did genuinely, swear to God, no research into their numbers or anything like that. They're a huge fucking show. They are massive. And
they're big, yeah.
We didn't think that it would be seen as many people as it did. If you're here, if you're a new listener, welcome. Didn't want you here, but you're here now, so welcome.
Gatekeep.
Genuinely, we're going to put it behind a paywall. Do you know what I mean? You're not needed, but you're here now, so I guess enjoy. That's Harvey. I'm Matt. I mean, keep up or fuck off. Keep up or fuck off. You know, that's what we're going for here. Right, let's get into the meat of the sandwich of the episode. After that very frilly intro,
good intro. I think.
I've been away. I was in Crete.
What did you think of it?
Crete's a wonderful place. I am, as you know, if you're a long-standing listener, watcher of this show, and it is a show.
It is.
Then
I can't state that enough.
I can't keep saying it. I will keep saying it. Yeah.
I'm not going to stop.
We are occasionally we will double down and be a history podcast, won't we, Harvey?
Yeah, we will.
Harvey brings out a whiteboard. We put on suits and we discuss at length, in detail, historic topics. We don't get bogged down with the facts.
Yeah, or the nitty gritty.
No, we don't need nitty gritty. It's a nice overview, and we take a sort of a sideways look at history.
Exactly.
So I like history a lot. Crete is a historical place. It is the place of myth. The last time I was in the Greek islands, I was listening. I was at dinner several times.
Where were you?
I was in Mykonos in 2018 with a man called Stephen Fry, and he was talking to me about the Greek myths of the islands, and I thought he was going on a little bit about them. To be honest with you,
he does rattle on.
He did rattle on quite a lot, and this isn't a joke. It was several evenings where he would talk about them. He gifted the whole cast the book Mythos. It was very nice.
Yeah, nice.
But being back in Crete, about where Theseus and the Minotaur takes place, I went to the Palace of Knossos. Stunning. I mean, absolutely stunning. That place is 4,000 years old.
It's still, it's a ruin, isn't it?
Obviously, it's a ruin. It's been restored in parts with concrete. You don't quite know which, but there are some parts that are 100% still there that have been there since day dot.
That's crazy.
Massive earthquake destroyed it around 3,500 years ago. Stunning, good weather, nice place. Not that many cats around. Normally in the Greek islands, there's quite a lot of cats.
Yeah, I know.
Not that many this time. So they've hopefully just sort of.
Yeah.
No, I would never want. That's horrible. I fucking love animals so much.
Yeah, of course.
What have you been doing? Changing your hair quite a lot.
Changing my hair quite a significant amount. Yeah. What else have we been doing?
Any more tattoos?
No more tattoos.
Right, you're taking a little break from that at the moment.
Taking a break.
That's smart.
For a while. I think I'm probably done.
Smart.
I think I'm probably done.
I think you're done for another year. You've said that before, though. I've heard you say that before.
Yeah, I have said that before. But
you said
I think
that in California, you came home and immediately got one done.
Got two done, actually. Yeah. But, do you know what?
Yeah, go on.
I don't really have anything else to say about that. Look, time will judge me.
Time will judge you.
Time will judge
me. Time will judge you.
So, yeah, what have I been up to when you've been away? I've not a lot, mate. I mean, I'm sort of been tucking into my unemployment.
I know, you are really unemployed, bruv.
Yeah, all right. Cheers.
No, yeah.
But this is a job, isn't it? So this counts.
This is a job.
So this is
Make absolutely no fucking mistake about this. This is a full-time job that we just do half-assed. So it only takes up a few days per week.
Sometimes we bring in a whiteboard and,
I've got guests.
I know you've got guests. Do you know what's funny, actually, on the whiteboard?
Yeah.
One of our fans and they are fans, came up to me because, as I said, I am about.
They come up to you in person?
And they were like, really, and they're talking about the podcast and bumped into them at yoga.
God.
And as I said, I'm about Matt. So, and I grilled them. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Here's
so what
the
have
test
you learned?
then.
What have you learned? No. Turn the music right down, please.
Yeah.
What have you learned?
Yeah. No. The class won't start yet.
Yeah,
actually.
we'll start when I'm ready.
Yeah, exactly.
They used you on the website, didn't they?
They did use me on the website.
So if they're using you on the website to promote their fucking hot yoga, then they can pause whilst you give someone a 45-minute quick pop quiz on the podcast.
Exactly that. But she said, and she was like, "Yeah, I've listened to every single one."
Yeah.
And I really loved, and as soon as she said "listen," I was fucking furious. I was fucking furious. But I was like, I'll give her a chance. She may have just misspoken. Right?
People do misspeak.
People misspeak all the time, Matt. And anyway, she said, "Yeah, the stuff with the whiteboard. It sounds really funny. Sounds funny."
You're talking. It's a fucking visual medium.
And I said, "Well, how did it sound? What? It sounds funny." I was like, "There's a lot of dead air in that."
Yeah, there
because
is.
I'm writing on a board.
It's actually incredibly infuriating how much dead air there is for me as the showrunner here, watching you faff around with the whiteboard.
Yeah.
Did you? This is. I'm not trying to catch you out here.
Yeah.
You know how the producers came to us to speak about what we were supposed to be doing today? Did you do it? I can see you didn't come in with the whiteboard. And when you didn't come in with the whiteboard, I thought maybe he's not doing it. You know, we were going to do icons.
Yeah, we do icons. I don't need whiteboard for icons though.
Well, it's a history.
Well, sort of, but then what I didn't want to do is just go through what I was because I wanted to do Paul Newman, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
the famous sauce maker.
Yes,
and I didn't want to have to go through each and every single one of his sauce with a rating system. I will do it. I'm going to do it. Probably.
I know you will.
Because Newman's Own, it is a fantastic sauce company.
Yeah.
And they donate all their profits to charity.
Do they?
All of them. Yeah. Yeah.
I've never had it.
Have you not had the blue cheese dressing?
No, man. I don't live in America.
Have you not had the vinaigrette?
No.
Have you not had the
Harvey,
ketchup?
no. Harvey, just assume no.
Have you not had the mayonnaise?
Things.
I'm just going to keep going. No. I've got that. The producers did. They got in touch.
Okay, I was going to do Ernest Hemingway.
Better. Well, not better, but
definitely is better. Ernest Hemingway. But this is the thing. It's going to be an overview, a real fucking overview. It's more just for a jumping off topic. I watched this thing.
Yeah.
And I wanted to like Ernest Hemingway. You know, the A Movable Feast, the sun always rises. Yeah. The Old Man of the Sea, Nobel Prize for Literature, faffed around in Paris quite a lot. It is insane.
Faffed around in Paris quite a lot.
The only fact we'll gloss over it because there's other shit to talk about, I think. Have you finished that Monster Energy drink? Good Lord.
One more sip, I think, and then we...
Fucking hell.
Well, sometimes you
are going to be...
Move about a bit.
Sometimes you gotta put the hog into a controlled slide and see how it goes.
See how it goes.
The man had 6 brain concussions over the course of his life. His father and 4 of his siblings killed themselves. And he killed himself as well.
He did, yeah.
In 1961. I don't know if people think about Picasso as this old master painting. He was mates with Picasso.
Yeah.
Picasso was not that long ago, and neither is Ernest Hemingway.
No.
And he lived in France, and F. Scott Fitzgerald, who wrote The Great Gatsby...
They're friends.
They were friends, and apparently he was just like, right, this guy's good, and sent it to his publisher to get the first The Sun Will Rise.
Really cool.
Sun Always Rises made. But Ernest Hemingway, it's like, is it nature or is it nurture in terms of his depression and all the rest of it? And I think that, like, when his father killed himself and the alcohol, everybody was drinking a lot back then. Everybody was drinking and not doing
a lot of war.
Well, he was injured in the war in World War I, and he got 6 fucking brain concussions. Can I read them out to you?
I love that you say brain concussions.
Yeah, you got me there. Give me on technicality. I don't like being caught on a technicality.
Yeah, I know. But I saw the fury in your eyes.
You have got me on a technicality, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. So how did he get his concussion?
So, he the first major one that he kind of had a couple just out and about, right?
Well, out and about, yeah, just out and about. A movable feast,
a few bonks on the head.
Yeah.
We're all guilty of it. Can I say just quickly? I once launched myself. Do you remember the Camden Assembly in Camden, back when Camden was cool?
Barfly.
No. The Electric Ballroom.
The Electric Ballroom, right.
A friend was playing a show there. I went up on the stage and I stage dived off of it and landed. And remember the stage was about an 8 foot. It's like a big, huge stage, right? And I landed straight onto my brain, onto my head, and drove back to Birmingham the next day. And I said to my girlfriend at the time, "Don't let me fall asleep. I think I might die." I think that was a major concussion in my life. I mean,
yeah, you dived onto the concrete on your head.
Man, it really hurt. I really didn't know where I was for a while. I was very drunk.
I can't believe you drove the next day.
Yeah, I know, stunning, innit?
But you were what? You were like 20?
Yeah, 19.
Yes, you know what I mean. We've all done it.
Let's ride the wave, baby.
Yeah.
Right. So he went to the toilet at night and he thought his skylight was the chain flush, and he's brought the entire skylight down in his house. Yeah, and
Cracked his head,
cracked his brain open, 9 stitches. 1944, he was thrown through the windshield of a car that he wasn't driving.
Thrown through the windshield of a car.
Yeah. A couple of years later, he was on a motorcycle in Normandy, and they say that he was thrown from a motorcycle. Another concussion. 1945, he was in a car crash. This time, him driving again, thrown through the windshield.
Wear a seatbelt. How many times do you need to be thrown through a windshield?
5 years later, in 1950, he's on his boat. He's doing quite well, but he slips and hit his head incredibly hardly on the deck of his boat.
Yeah, that'll happen. Wear boat shoes.
2 years later, he was on safari in Africa, and he is in a plane crash. They managed
thrown through a windshield.
They managed to get out of the plane safely. None of his party are hurt. He gets in a second plane that also crashes, and he's on the ground. They've crashed the plane, and this is again the quote: he tried to escape from the plane using his head to ram it against the metal door. And he had lacerations, and so he basically gave himself major trauma from trying to get out of the second plane.
I don't know about you, Matt.
Yeah.
But if you were trying to break through a door or break through anything,
Go with your hands.
Wouldn't use your head, would you, as a first implement?
I'd pick my feet first.
Kick the door.
I'd try and kick the door.
Yeah.
Ego goes straight. I'm going to headbutt. Yeah. I'm going to Zidane Zidane this bastard. Bon anniversaire. Yeah.
So Ernest Hemingway.
So that all contributed to his major paranoia and all the rest of it, and the drinking problems. But after his death, it was revealed that his paranoia of the CIA watching him was absolutely true. They were watching him because they thought he was a communist sympathizer. He shot himself in 1961, very sadly. So this is a mixed message here. One, if you think you are being watched, you probably are. If I'm being honest with you.
What? No, that's terrible.
Yeah.
What do you mean? If you think you're being watched, you definitely are. Anyone with schizophrenia is like, I know I'm right. I've been waiting for someone to say it.
Yeah, well, I'm not a doctor, Harvey.
They've got loads of doctors and family around them. Like, mate, then honestly, we're trying to talk about for the ledge. Like, no one's watching you. Tune into the lack of focus once. New listeners, you're being watched.
If you are a prolific writer of the sort of 19th century, then yeah, you probably are being watched.
Definitely.
That's kind of, and I just find him a very interesting man because obviously he's sort of glorified a little bit because of the way he died, as was Kurt Cobain and all the rest of it. Anyone who kills himself is glorified because of that. But I don't know whether he would have killed himself had it not been for those 6 very, very serious brain concussions.
Yeah, I mean, look, mate, I've had. Have you ever had a concussion other than the one double concussion?
Nah,
I've only had one.
Nah,
it's really embarrassing how I had a concussion.
You surprised me.
So you know me, I was into kickboxing at one point.
Yeah, you were.
Nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
What was happening was I was on a date.
Oh God.
And this girl had come over my house. Yeah. And I lived in Upper Holloway at that time.
Yeah.
And I had a really small 1-bedroom flat, and I had a kitchen which you could just basically step into, and it was like the hob was there, and then the sink was there, and there was just cupboards, and then the chopping board was here. And I was opening cupboards up, and I'd turn around to chop something, and I turned around and I'd forgotten that I'd left a cupboard door open, and I just turned around and clocked me in the side of the head.
Is that concussion worthy?
I went out.
No way.
I went out.
No way.
I woke up with the girl over me being like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then I just threw up on myself.
Well, so this reminds me. That is very embarrassing. You're right to be embarrassed by that. Yeah. I once smoked way too much weed. I think I was about 17.
Yeah.
I was in Highgate at a house party, and it was the first and only time I've ever really just felt my legs fall from. I whiteyed basically. I felt my legs just go from underneath me.
Yeah. Were you drinking at the same time?
Yeah. Of course,
that would do it.
And I just unregulated skunk. And
yeah, they need to get a hold of that. They need to
fucking legalize. Like honestly, it's insane what we were smoking when we were fucking 15, 16 years old. Anyway, I hit the, and when I come to, it's the only time I can really remember genuinely having absolutely fucking no idea where I am or how I got there. And it's like, I mean, absolutely. So maybe 2 concussions, I guess.
I've passed out. I've been passed out before.
Yeah.
That was the only time I've not.
I
been
passed
knocked
out all the time.
Did you?
Yeah.
Why?
When I was drunk.
Oh well, no. I mean, like just faint.
No, never.
I did that. I gave blood once.
Oh, right.
Out.
Yeah, passed out
That was
from giving
really
blood.
bad. Yeah.
I want to give blood, but I don't know how. I don't know if I've got the stomach for it, to be honest with you, mate.
I went to the doctor recently for blood tests and stuff, and I was like, I think I've got a thing about needles.
Why did you have a blood test?
I'll just check up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I was like, I think I've got a thing for needles, and the girl really sarcastically looked at me, and she looked at my tattoos, and she went,
tattoos.
"Really?"
Yeah.
And I was like, it's different, though, isn't it?
Firstly, they're fucking completely different. Anyone who says that, completely different.
It's not really a needle attack. It doesn't feel like a needle. It feels more.
It doesn't. Well, no, it does. It is a needle, but it's not going in you.
No, it's just scratching the surface.
It's just scratching the surface.
Yeah.
Even now, I don't think tattoos hurt that much, but
They don't
when you go and get them done again, they do.
They hurt more the more you get.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think the first one you get, you're excited, and it's like, oh, this is the thing.
I've never had a huge. I mean, the biggest I have one.
It's pretty big.
I have one sort of like tennis ball sized one, and then I have like 7 or 8 little dotty ones.
Yeah.
I've never sat down and done a 4-hour session like you've done.
The longest
Mine
I've
took
done
2 hours.
7 hours.
That is fucking mental,
Yeah,
bruv.
dude. After like 4 hours, you're like, I'm.
I remember you
done.
calling me having a cigarette, and you were outside being like, "I'm just taking a break for a while." And I
Yeah.
was like, "Of course, man. Like, that's insane."
Yeah, and you come out of a session like that, and you're just like, I feel fucking emotionally exhausted.
When you woke up the
It's
next
like,
day, you feel just like fucking hell.
you just feel rough. Like the only thing I can describe it as, when you do like a really rough, like as an actor, you do a really rough scene on like a stage in like acting school or whatever, and you get off, and you're just like, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. I feel like it's fucking raw. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like concentration wise, you've just been like, you've just sort of been like.
I think I did a play called A Lie of the Mind, which is by Sam Shepard.
Oh yeah,
and that
cool.
ran for quite a while, and that was an incredibly intense role, and that was back when I thought method acting was cool.
Oh, fine.
That was when I was still a kid, and I was thinking that was, well, I wasn't a kid, I was in my 20s, but I was like, I still
You're a kid at 20, I think.
Still thought it was cool. And when we wrapped that show, it's about a man who loses his mind in his family home, and his wife has dementia, and it was fucking hectic play. But when that finished, I ended up at a police station.
Yeah.
That night after the rap party, because I lost my mind, man. I lost my mind at this party. I got way too drunk. I was very underweight and everything.
Yeah.
And I remember being outside a police station, just crying. And my friend turns up. I'm like, apparently, like, I'm looking for this. I'm looking for the. He says it's here, and he just goes, "Does he look like you but taller?" It was Charlie, and he's like, "Yeah." He's like, he just pointed outside, and apparently he hadn't arrested me because I was just so pathetically
just like really
sad.
upset,
I was just sad, but not doing anything like mad. I was just just couldn't stop crying
Just
for whatever
like a
reason.
bit, like hysterical in the
Just
streets.
hysterically crying. But my cab driver had taken me to a police station.
You didn't know where to go.
Didn't know what to do with me because I didn't know where I lived. I was just like a mess.
Yeah.
And he apparently this police station, this officer had just been like keeping an eye on me, and anyone that came over to try and bother me, he would just tell them to move on for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And I don't remember any of this until I was told about this later. Went back to the police station the next day to thank them. He wasn't actually on shift, but I said, "Oh, I can't." Yeah, I'm very, very embarrassed. I'm very like, yeah, you weren't doing anything wrong. You were just really, really, really sad for some reason. They thought like my girlfriend let me or something. I was like, I didn't want to tell them. I just finished a play. That was really sad.
Look, all problems are relative.
That's the only thing I can mention it to. I would never ever get to that point again. Just like no nutrition, no mental health awareness, zero exercise. I realised about myself, my whole life was exercise. Tennis coaching, playing tennis, playing football, until around 17 years old. And then I did no sport or exercise until I was 25. I occasionally went to a gym, but I didn't do any like structured.
Were you not doing anything?
No, man.
You did like movement and yoga and stuff at drop.
It's not the same thing. If you're not being rude, if you've gone from being an athlete and slamming yourself into other people play football, doing fucking like dance is intense, ballet's intense, but it's not the same thing. And I think that was a massive contributor to my complete downfall in my early 20s.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I just think it's an essential part of my life now.
I wasn't ever sporty at all. Like, nothing. I hated physical education at school.
You surprised me.
I know. Until 22, I started to be like, oh, I probably should sort this out.
Yeah.
It's getting like, I remember just being like, oh, like I remember it was like 22, and I was like, not fat.
I saw a photo of you. You showed me a photo.
Bit puppy fat.
I didn't meet Harvey until you were 28, did I? 27.
No, I think I was 26. It was 26.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. And you showed me a photo of yourself when you were 21, 22, and I was like, fuck, you know.
Yeah,
You were it was just puppy fat.
Just puppy fat, yeah. But it was just because I obviously got a car. I was driving to college. I went to college I went to Henley College.
You're probably boozing as well, though.
Boozing.
Yeah, of course.
In the pub there on lunch. And then I was...
Meal deals and
meal
pizzas.
deals. And then on the train back home, this is pre-driving. On the train back home, at Twyford Station, there's a little fish and chip stop. Just get in there, have the whole fucking newspaper of chips.
Yeah, I'll still do that now.
Banging. Yeah, occasionally. But I think I was doing that every day at like age 19 to like however old, like 20. Yeah. And just, and I'd always been very, very skinny as a kid. And I'd never really had to worry about like getting fat or I was like whole multi-packs of crisps and shit. And then, I got to 22 and I'd been in a relationship for 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah, from 18 to 22, well, 4 years.
Holy shit.
Nearly 5 years. And I got to 22 and the relationship broke down and then I was single again. And I was just like, fuck. Like, I'm look like this now.
You're working your game a little
more.
So
now I have to like not like, I just had to like, just for me more than anything else, just like, I need to like do some sort of physical education.
Just to cut you off there.
Education.
You know on Baby Reindeer?
Yeah.
She keeps, the real woman goes on Piers Morgan and keeps talking about
it's bad, isn't
the Hawley Arms. You were drinking at the Hawley Arms with her when he was behind the bar.
Yeah, all the time.
100%. So my Camden lifestyle was more towards the Chalk Farm end of Camden. Can I be honest with you here?
Yeah.
I've never had a pint in the Hawley Arms. I've been in a bunch of times.
We should do it this week.
But I've never, like, it's never when, sorry, that I'm rephrase that. As in, like, I've ended up at the Hawley Arms. I've never gone to the Hawley Arms
like, let's
go and have a drink.
Yeah.
Ever, not once.
It's still the same, sort of.
I mean, again, this is I don't really...
This is just more of a conversation between us, but do you remember the Steels?
Yeah, of course.
Kirk, the owner, the original owner, just got it back again. So it's going to be. It's meant to be really good again now.
The Steels was one of the coolest bars in the world. It's actually, if you want a bit of trivia, in extras when Gervais goes to the pub when he's got first fame and he gets bothered by the people being like, do the catchphrase. The exterior shot that they use for that is the Steels in around 2005 when it's still the red building and the ceilings painted with like these old master paintings. Yeah, do you remember that?
Yeah, stunning.
It was, and like you went around the back. This is so boring if you've never been to the pub, but around the back of the bar.
This show is very much for us.
Exactly. I don't care what you're listening to. Around the back of the bar, there was like bookcases that you sort of like just nook and crannies in. It was probably actually referred it to the Washington, man. I think it was a proper pub there.
Well, Kern worked there.
I know. So we would go.
You would have been served by it.
We had lock-ins at the Steels with the Washington staff.
Yeah,
the Washington would go to the Steels to have the lock-ins.
Yeah. But Matt was saying that it was one of those fucking cool pubs that, because obviously Tim Burton lived up the road.
Yeah.
Him and Helena Bonham Carter would always be in there.
Helena was always there. Yeah.
Keanu Reeves was in there. Anne Hathaway was in there.
I really fucked up once with Helena Bonham Carter.
Did you?
I'm so embarrassed by it.
What did you do?
She was stood behind me at this coffee shop, and I would see her quite a lot. And I swear I didn't know she was there, and I can't remember what I was slagging her off for, but I was slagging off. I was just saying bad things, and I was just like, and the thing is,
behind you,
it was like when you're young, you're just saying words just because you don't. And she was right behind me, and her friend made a point of saying, "Bye, Helena, great to see you."
So they'd heard.
So they knew that I'd heard, and I've never been.
I would never say bye, Matt.
No. Exactly. Exactly. True. And I felt like such a stupid little boy. And although now I have a podcast slagging people off the entire time, I mean, what are you going to do?
It's fun.
I own it now.
It's fun.
That was back then. I just felt like such a silly little boy. That's the only way to describe it.
Have you on just to touch on? Have you watched all of Baby Reindeer?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I loved it. I think it's probably one of the most important bits of TV made in the UK for a very long time. Maybe I haven't actually watched It's a Sin, but I can imagine It's a Sin being as just as important to.
It's a Sin's really good.
I don't feel I need to be educated on the gay community.
Probably not.
But
you don't. But I mean, a lot of people do.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. How important it would have been.
Big.
But I probably should watch. Can I just be honest? The lead guy in It's a Sin, the guy who's also in the band.
Yeah,
I don't like him.
So I'm friends.
He fucking annoys me.
Nathaniel.
So and it's probably nothing personal, but he just grates on me. So I don't want to watch a whole show with him.
Do you know the one I'm talking? Nathaniel.
No.
He's a mixed race, long hair.
Right. Okay.
He's really nice. Like really, really nice.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. Yeah.
But Russell T Davies is the creator of It's a Sin, isn't it? But have you seen Christopher Eccleston? He was being interviewed, and they were like, "Oh, would you do Doctor Who again?"
No,
and Christopher Eccleston was like, "Yeah, get rid of fucking Russell T Davies, and I'll do it." Like, well, all right, Chris, don't mince your words, mate. Jesus.
I get Russell T Davies and Russell Tovey confused quite a lot.
So Russell Tovey's the actor.
No, I know. I was sat in front of him at a theatre the other day.
Yeah. And then Russell T Davies is the creator of It's a Sin. He also was a big writer on Doctor Who. He's a good writer. He's a writer.
I went to the Soho Theatre to watch a friend of mine who's he won the. It was called Boys on the Verge of Tears. Interesting show with a guy. One of the actors called Matthew Beard. Fantastic actor.
Great. I think I know who that is.
Yeah, he's in the Imitation Game.
That's it.
He's fantastic. Anyway, Russell Tovey was sat behind me, clearly on a first date.
That's funny.
And the idea of listening to anyone on a first date
so
is so tough. Like, it's just what you just. I haven't been on a first date for many, many years, obviously, but you are just not your version of yourself. And it was tricky because I roughly know Ross. I've seen him interviewed and all the rest of it, and it's just like, oh God, just let the play start so that they can stop talking. Not because it was irritating.
I know
me,
what you mean. It's
just for each other.
Just so no one else needs to be here.
Get through the play and then get to the pub so you can have something to talk about.
Yeah.
But this first bit in a quite quiet theatre where everyone can hear your conversation.
I find
horrible.
I find going a first date, taking someone to the theatre is a bit much. Or the cinema, or anywhere you've got to sit in silence.
Terrible. Can I tell you the worst place? The worst place ever is bowling, because one of you goes up and the other sits down. The one goes up. The other sits down.
That's a good point.
One goes, and I took a girl on a date on Brick Lane, that bowling place in Brick Lane. Gorgeous girl, but the thing with the really, really ridiculously All-Star Lanes is like she she was a mute. She didn't talk.
Bless her.
Right. And went bowling, and it was just genuinely
Could she have been just shy?
No.
No.
I'm a really easy person to talk to.
You're pretty easy. I mean, we do it on a like weekly basis.
Do you know why I'm an easy person to talk to? Immediately, I read people very quickly, and I'll know whether I need to be incredibly self-deprecating to allow them an inch to move something, or to jump the confidence. I feel like it's one of my strengths.
Yeah, I think so.
She was a mute. She said nothing. She brought nothing to the table. Rubbish. And bowling didn't make it any better, to be honest with you.
Why would it?
Yeah.
You can't really talk about bowling, can you?
If you were on a date now,
yeah,
right, would you ever, just after a drink, just go, clearly not my vibe, thanks so much, I'm off? That's incredible. I would drink myself to oblivion, end the date, never talk to them again.
I've done it a couple times.
Modern day dating must be horrible now.
Well, obviously, I haven't been dating for years, but I remember, it would have been, it was right around the time, it was right after, or right before I met you for the first time, because I'd broken up with my girlfriend at the time, that you knew, and then I was single for a while and going on dates and stuff. And I remember it's actually before that. So it was when Tinder came out.
Me too. We weren't really friends at this point. We'd met, but we were both single at the exact same time.
And then and Tinder had just come out, and it was like a magic thing.
It was amazing.
That you could just but it meant that I was just going on loads of dates all the time, because it's just like, well, you just date, just just dating. And I remember it got to a point where like I think I was very much like that, drink myself to oblivion. If the day wasn't going well, I'd just stay. Whereas I think after a few, I realised that like if it wasn't going well, I think being upfront and honest is always like the most impressive thing anyone can be.
Yeah, now.
So now
that you have the brain.
If someone said to me like, even if a girl was like, look, it's not really working. We're not jarring. Do you mind if we call it a day here? I'd be like, yeah, fine. Of course.
I actually wouldn't take any offence. I'd be so grateful for it.
So grateful. But yeah, I did it a couple of times where I was just like, look, I don't want to make an excuse and be like, oh, my, but like, it's obviously this isn't working. So
can I tell you, I once got in trouble recently It was when I was living in this like commune place. It's only a couple of years ago.
What?
Yeah, no, it wasn't a commune. It was a warehouse converted into 2 flats.
Okay, that sounds
just
way
outside
better than
Abergrove.
commune.
It was fucking cool. No, we had like an open door policy. Anyway, we were downstairs having lunch with the boys who lived downstairs, and I was really, really, really hungover for some whatever reason, and like towards the end, we'd finished the meal, but they were all sat around like having a fag, a post thing, and I was just like, I'm really sorry. I have to get up, otherwise I think I'm going to have a panic attack. So I've got to leave right now,
Right.
and I've got to go upstairs. So, but thank you very much. It was very nice. There are a few of the other. If it was just the boys, I would have been fine.
Yeah,
But a few other mates were there as well.
That you didn't know.
I was like, I actually now do need to leave, and that you'll stay here. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And later, it was like just say anything else. Just say, I've left the kettle on. I was like, no.
No, I don't want to lie.
I don't want to lie. I want to be honest with you, man. Like you don't need to fucking come up with because then you lie, you feel more guilty about it. Just be like, no, listen, man, I'm done with this. I'm about to have a breakdown, so I gotta go. And I'll be fine in like 25 minutes after a can of Coke and a lie down.
Yeah, nice.
But I have to leave now.
I think there's
I hate sitting at the table after dinner for too long. I hate it so much. My worst thing in the world.
I don't like doing stuff I don't like doing.
Well, no, I'll do things I don't like doing for a time, but if I have to sit at a table for seriously now 5 minutes after the food is gone, outside of a restaurant, I think sometimes I'm just going to explode. I really think
it depends where you are, though, surely.
No, it
like
doesn't.
if you're in Greece and it's outside and just having a cigarette after
that's
meal,
class. That's very nice. No, I'm talking about at someone's house or something.
So
I need to
dinner.
move to a different room. I've got to get away from this table. I can't describe it. I just feel trapped. I feel like I'm going to blow up.
That's weird.
Yeah.
But I mean, I kind of understand it.
I can't do anything about it.
You say you'd be shit on first dates after we just had a drink.
Well, no, I would do first dates all very, very different
Casually,
right now.
yeah.
I would say we're getting on bikes and we're going with, I would just do it all differently now.
Certainly not going to the theatre, Russell.
Yeah, Russell,
and he is watching. On first dates, I remember I was in a newsagent recently, and there's 2 people behind me that were obviously on a first date.
Yeah,
and it's actually surprising how most people can't talk.
I know, man.
Like it was an American dude, and he was like, "So, what do you do for work?" She was like, "Oh, I work at IBM." And he was like, "Oh yeah, South Bank. That's a nice spot." I was just like, dude, you need to inject a bit of atmosphere here. You need to be doing something.
Yeah. What, down on the Thames? Did you know that a whale couldn't get out of the Thames, and yet that fucking mug, David Walliams, thought he could swim across it? Dickhead. Isn't he a dickhead? Do you think he's a dickhead?
Want to do a shot?
It's the morning.
Answer
my actual question I asked you.
Do you want to do a shot?
Oh, yeah. David Walliams really is one of the worst people in the world, isn't he?
He's pretty bad. I just think there's something about him that just makes me feel a bit gross.
He's rubbish. Honestly, he's a terrible dude.
Is he? Have you met him?
No, I haven't met him, but
I've met him once.
I did live in Matt Lucas's house for a little while.
Did you?
I didn't.
Whose house didn't you live in?
I know.
You've lived in quite a few gaps.
I've lived in quite a few gaps, haven't I?
No, it's bloody
I've lived the life.
You have lived the life, mate.
I'm a journeyman. If nothing else, I'm a journeyman.
I lived in Brian and Lindsay Quinn's house for far too long to go.
Yes, you did.
What I did was I lived there.
They've sold that house now, haven't they?
Yeah, they have, sadly. I lived there. I moved out.
Yeah.
And then I moved back in.
Yeah.
About a decade later.
You had on some hard times. Harvey used to work as a big-time lawyer in the city, didn't you?
Absolutely not. No.
And after he met me at a brief encounter, he quit his job and his high-paying. It wasn't a lawyer. What were you?
It was
city banker.
No. I worked
city
in tech in the city.
Whatever. So let's just say, for argument's sake, you were a lawyer making big time bucks,
slinging
city,
it about.
City slacker.
Yeah.
And you had to move back home. And the thing is, actually, now the biggest regret. I don't have any regrets. Seriously, none. But there's no fucking goddamn way I would have moved out of my parents' home in fucking Cricklewood to move to Ladbroke Grove when I was 23 years old.
Yeah, I can't believe you did that.
That is insane. Like, I literally lived
as an actor as well.
As an actor, but I did that
commercial.
I did a big commercial back when commercials paid a lot of money. Like, so I did a commercial in about 2015, 14, 15, which paid me so much money that I was just firstly thought, well, because I was so arrogant. This is exactly how it was, come out of drama school, do a movie that goes to Cannes, sign a big agent, do a big commercial, everything's working out exactly how it should do, and I'll win my BAFTA when I'm 28. No problem at all. So I moved out thinking about, oh my God, if I was single now and I was, there's no way I would be renting. No fucking way.
Yeah,
no
it's pretty rough, isn't it?
It's just stupid if your parents live in London.
Well, also, the rental market in London is absolutely absurd.
Yeah, man, it's a
the average cost of a house.
Oh, we got to talk about it because we rattled on about a lot of things. National service. What are your thoughts?
Oh, right. Okay. So, I think as a policy, it is a good idea.
Yeah, it's a brilliant idea.
I think. Well, not. I don't mean send them all to the military. I mean involve teenagers coming out of school a year in like the ambulance service or the fire service or working with the police or shadowing like a government department, I think, because then it builds a community, it builds a sense of national pride. I think that's a good thing. It builds a sense of community in general. I think it's a good idea. And helping it within even military. If you want to do military, great. But there's arms of the military that are really quite interesting, like cyber security and stuff like that. Yeah. And you would learn skills. I think it's a good idea. I think that it's a ridiculous, non-committal, politics playing, bullshit, unplanned policy that Rishi's pulled out of his arse to win the reformer vote. That's what I think of the like it being in the news recently.
Totally
I don't
agree.
I think that it's just bullshit. It's bullshit.
It's bollocks because he's had many years to implicate this.
Yeah.
Had he wanted to. So it's obviously just for the vote. Secondly, he doesn't give a shit about 18-year-olds because they're not going to vote for him anyway. So
no, exactly.
Talking to the 60-year-olds who want that to think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's very bright on his side. Now, I also think that had it been offered to me as an 18-year-old, I would have told you to fuck all the way off home.
I would have as well,
right?
Yeah.
Because my brain isn't developed enough to realize what a fantastic opportunity and a good idea that is.
Sure.
Had I known more about life when I was 17, 18 years old, for example, I didn't know that if you went to university to study history, you didn't have to become a historian. That makes me sound like I'm brain dead, right? But I seriously swear to God, they didn't know that.
Sure.
No one ever told me.
Yeah, no, fine.
The schools I went to, it was just, it's hard, without sounding like a complete cock, it was just a lot of assumed knowledge, right? But I've since made friends, very good friends, with two chaps who were in the army, and it is like, I'm so envious of them. If I had known that information, I absolutely would have joined the army.
Yeah.
And then I would have worked hard and gone to hopefully Cambridge, joined Footlights, sacked off drama school. And still, but I mean, you never know how it would have gone. Yeah. But it would have started with that national service thing at the beginning.
The problem,
I think it's a good thing. I'd just be fucking annoyed about it if I was 18.
Well, it is a good thing in a vacuum, but I think we have to. If you expect 18-year-old kids to join and volunteer unpaid,
absolutely not.
No, if you expect 18-year-old kids to volunteer unpaid for the army, then you have to at least enable them to buy a fucking house.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think we've got to sort out the housing crisis and like all that shit. Like if you're an 18-year-old kid coming up now, you'd be like, well, everything's so fucking expensive. I'm never going to buy a house unless my parents buy it for me. Like we need to sort that out first.
We're in Hackney Central right now, by the way.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll be honest with you, mate. It's a shithole around here, right? Dalston is Butte.
Well,
there was a shooting 2
nice.
days ago. Though. Did you see that?
Yeah,
little girls in hospital.
We got woken up by fucking
there was
helicopter over the house.
Exactly. Yeah. But Hackney Central is a shithole still. And I've just paid for a black coffee, £3.45, for some random thing. Are you having a laugh, bruv?
It's just the cost.
You're having an actual laugh.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how rich and successful I inevitably become, I will always resent paying that much money.
$3.50 for a black filter
around here. Yeah. If I'm in, wherever, whatever.
I mean, but anywhere, even in Notting Hill, that's fucking ridiculously expensive. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's water and beans.
The idea that I think if you want kids and if you want the youth to volunteer and commit their life to helping the country, then help them out a bit as well. You know what I mean? Help them out a bit.
That's what
do you know what I mean?
said, yeah.
Fund fucking fund like the arts for starts. Don't strip back everything.
Yeah, but speaking about the fucking arts, the arts need to help themselves by doing something good. Make something good. Do you know what I watched last night at my kitchen table? I have an island in my kitchen, and I sometimes eat there when I'm home alone.
Yeah,
and I watched Billy Elliot on my laptop, and I cried my fucking eyes out.
It's a good movie.
On 4 separate occasions. I haven't watched that film in over 15 years. Jamie Bell is
sensational, isn't it?
actually sensational.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Since like he's 11 years old.
Yeah, that's a fucking good movie.
You compare him to anyone who ever went anywhere near Harry Potter or being a youth actor. He is phenomenal. Obviously, the surrounding cast, the adult actors are just phenomenal. And my ignorance, I don't know their names right now, apart from Julie Andrews.
Yeah,
Julie Andrews, wasn't her name? What name? Yeah. Fucking amazing actor.
Doesn't matter.
And it doesn't matter. I cried my eyes out on 4 separate occasions at my kitchen table. Nothing's come close to it. And then I wake up this morning to like everyone going to like every shit kicker fucking going into the premiere of the new Star Wars thing, which we weren't invited to. Swear to God,
what is it?
If we'd been invited to this new Disney Star Wars thing, I would not go. And I would say I go to a lot of things because I want the red carpets. I love that shit and I look good on them. But I don't think I could go and support this. It is called
what is it?
Star Wars, the Acolyte. I've written it wrong.
Well, fine.
That Acolyte.
Yeah, the Acolyte. I mean,
said 100 years before. Let it die. Seriously, let it die. What are you playing at?
Is it good?
Shit. I've no idea. There's no way I'm gonna watch it. I haven't watched Kenobi. I don't give a shit about any of it. And
I watched Kenobi.
So fucking bored of the state of the industry at the moment. I actually thought about this last night in bed. You know when you watch the Olympics or footballers?
Yeah.
Right? You can't sit at home and go, I'm faster than him. You're not. You're not faster than him.
Sure, yeah.
I can jump higher than her. You can't. Right?
Yeah.
With the acting, you sit at home watching it. And if you've got anything about yourself, you're going, I can do that.
Well, that's why I stopped watching that many movies, as I said, because I'm just getting frustrated with watching people on TV that I think are
terrible.
Average.
Nah, terrible.
Or sometimes terrible. And I'm just like, I know I can do this.
Go and watch Life on Mars, the BBC show.
Fantastic.
In 2005. I mean, every single person in that show, is phenomenal.
Is it John Sim?
Yeah.
The lead.
It's absolutely
really
amazing,
show,
right?
Yeah.
And then go and watch Trigger Point.
I haven't. Yeah, I mean, I just
seriously, it's a disgrace. Like, and it's not, and it seems to be an active choice. Like, I can't understand why how the drop off has been that insanely. Like, the only good show that's been made on TV in the last 10 years on the BBC. I mean, this is a thing. Is Line of Duty, the first 2 series of that.
Yeah.
In terms of that genre of show, even the Bill from back in the day is better than Trigger Point. And that was something they mass produced, fucking, 7 episodes a week, bang them out.
I would like to see what the viewing figures are for BBC TV.
Bad. And that's nothing to do with them. It's not their fault. It just is bad.
I know soap operas are still doing well.
Yeah, because it's comfort.
Because it's that era, though. I think it's like anyone 60 plus is probably watching.
You'll be surprised. I think kids, people are millennials.
Think?
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, my auntie is a big Casualty person. Yeah. So
my mum is a big Holby City fan.
Yeah.
Holby City's all. But I'm watching Holby. She loves
I think
it.
Holby got cancelled.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Which is a shame. But I mean, they had so many of them, didn't they? They were like, what was the difference between Holby City and Casualty? They're the same thing, aren't
I'm
they?
amazed they never did a big crossover. They're the same thing because they're both the BBC, aren't they?
And they're both Holby City Hospital.
The only good thing about Casualty is that obviously the Gervais joke where it's you've been on anything? Yeah.
Doing Casualty?
What,
the show?
Well, no.
Well, no, not the... Yeah. I have been in Casualty now, though.
You have actually...
I have been in it.
You've been in Casualty?
I've been in Casualty.
I've never done any. I've been in Doctors, but that's
pretty good.
No, it's not.
Is that the same universe?
No.
It's
but
not.
It fucking should
be. Do a crossover, BBC. What are you playing at?
Good Lord, they've just got a lot of sets with medical backgrounds. And
mate, I went on that set. And it's not a set. It's a full fucking size hospital. They've just built a hospital.
Yeah.
Like, what? This is mental.
Well, it's like the hospital that Scrubs was filmed in was a real hospital.
Yeah. But I think, did they film it all in that hospital?
All of it. It's such a shame. I think that if I were to watch Scrubs now, I'd find it unbearable.
No, I think you wouldn't.
Do you think I'd like it?
I watched season 1 and 2 recently.
No, I don't mean that. I mean, like, if it came out today,
no, you'd probably find it unbearable.
I'd go, that's...
Yeah, because if it came out today, I don't think it would have had...
Because it's zany and it's weird, just the floating head thing, and it's eagle, and stuff that I loved when I was younger and I still love now.
Yeah.
I think if it came out now, I'm too hardened and bitter.
Bitter.
Yeah, maybe I am. Maybe I am.
Well, I think the problem is, I think we've seen it in our lifetime. It's moved away from actual good writing and good acting and good to franchises and
that's the thing.
And Star Wars and how can we milk the fuck
I'll never
out of
forget,
this?
bruv, watching seeing a trailer for Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah.
But they said circa 2025, and there was this breakdown on Reddit saying they are creating the Godzilla film and the new Kong movies to basically eventually, and this was in like 2018, to meet here to do Kong versus Godzilla, which has just come out. And I couldn't get my head around the fact that all you're doing is making films to make the next one. Yeah. When they made Scrubs to entertain, and if they got a second season, they got a second season.
Yeah.
Now you make anything to get a second. Like, do you
know what I've realized this?
Oh God, yeah, go on.
One of the things I really really liked about Civil War was it feels very much. It's got that energy of like it's every single shot is sort of like.
I need to watch
it. Yeah, it's really good. But it's got every shot is like kind of like for a purpose, and it sort of has a meaning, and and it's like the whole film. It feels like it's just a good film.
Yeah.
But then like whenever I watched like prime example would be like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Or whatever, any fucking style like Rogue One or whatever. When you're watching it, you're like, you don't need to. No one's. What's the purpose of this movie?
Yeah,
you're just doing it to make money. You're literally doing it to make money, and I feel the same way about. Just all the dross, like how many fucking Ghostbusters sequels they've made.
Disgusting.
It's just like, and you're literally doing it for money. No one really wants to be here. Bill Murray's there, looking about 1,000 years old,
Paul
just
Rudd
being
like,
be there. Yeah, Paul Rudd he's just taking a check, and you can see it on his fucking face that he's taking a check.
And I'm fine for people taking.
Fair enough.
I'm fine for people taking checks.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, come on, for fuck's sake, man. I watched a thing called Sugar, Colin Farrell on Apple TV.
Is it good?
No. It starts really, really well. He's an investigator in LA. It's all sort of LA noir stuff, and he's finding a missing person, and you really think it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ruin it, no spoilers. And you watch the first 5 episodes, and you're thinking, okay, this is quite just on the nose. This is just a film noir throwback investigator being fucking cool. Should have been cast it should have had Ryan Gosling play the lead role, but they got Colin. He's brilliant. And then out of nowhere, they just changed the entire show. And the last, I don't want to give any spoilers.
Fine.
I'll tell you afterwards.
Yeah.
But you then realise the rug pull moment is just all we would like is a second season, please. That's all it is. That's all it. You think it's going to be a contained girls got taken, he goes to find the girl. That's you think, and you're like, oh my god, a throwback show. Here we go. This is going to be nice,
Yeah.
Beautifully shot, great score. No, wrong.
Yeah. Fuck.
Excuse me. Can we just churn out these for the next 4 years, please? Thanks very much. It's just unbearable. Unbearable. Yeah. We're on the hour mark.
But so on that note, we have a bit of agony aunt.
Make it quick.
It'd be very rapid.
Yeah.
The question
I know they take a lot of time
reads
so go on
as follows. I mean, look, they've obviously spent a lot of time on this. Dear Matt and Harvey.
Yep, that's me.
I've been feeling a lot of pressure to get Botox recently.
Okay.
I'm in my 30s, unlucky, and I'm constantly obsessing with the wrinkles I see in the mirror. All of my friends have started to get work done, and I feel like I'm getting left behind by everyone, young and old. Please advise.
Go for it, baby.
Look.
Don't even think about it.
All your friends are getting it done. Would you, if your friends jumped off a cliff, would you follow them?
Yeah, if I was base jumping and that's the reason to be jumping off a cliff, if they're all killing themselves, then it's a mass suicide or something's gone very wrong.
Something's very wrong. It's like a
right. In which case, I probably don't want to be there anyway, so I'll follow them off. So stupid thing, and yes, I would. With the Botox, honestly, firstly, just do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, absolutely. If everyone else is getting it,
why not?
I mean, if you can afford it, and I don't know. I don't see the issue with it at all. Preventative, yeah, fine.
Do you think so?
I completely think so. I'm all for, mate. I am all for anyone to have whatever mad fucking thing they want.
I agree,
and I don't think that Botox is that mad. I really don't.
No, I think Botox is not that mad. I think and I'm okay with people getting work done because it's it's your choice, your body, all that stuff. But I do find it weird that people are spending so much money to look like they're someone else.
They're not looking like someone else though. They're taking care of themselves.
Yeah, but they look like someone that's getting like a nose job and a jaw like reconstruction and like.
Look, my only issue
like,
with all of it,
big lips and like
no,
just like.
No, I don't care about any of that. The only issue with it, no, not at all. I couldn't give a fuck. Is, and I will do it to myself later.
Would you?
Yeah. I wouldn't even hesitate.
I don't think I'm ever going to do it.
All right. Well, you're Asian. You're gonna go through it. You're just gonna be fine, aren't you?
True. So, I mean, but as I said, if you're in your 30s, bad luck, mate. I mean,
yeah.
It would be shit to be in our 30s.
We are fine, baby.
It would be shit to be in your 30s.
Preventative, I think it's a really good thing. And I think that it's just people overhype it too much. When you start to get bare old, right, you can either look old or you can look weird, right? There are your options.
True.
So the only thing about getting the preventative Botox and bits and pieces now is that it's probably quite moreish, and you're just going to
like
want to get more
cocaine.
and more. I mean, look at Exhibit A over here. Fucking Harvey's covered in tattoos.
I'm not covered.
Harvey, you're covered in tattoos, bruv.
Yeah, I've got a bit out of hand with it. But look, listen.
And they're way more, but Botox wears off.
Does it?
Yeah, of course. Of course it does.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's why people have to you go back and get more done. Yeah.
Oh, that's how they get you.
Yeah. It lasts,
surely they could just do one that lasts forever.
No, it lasts for like a while and then it comes off again. You go get it done. I'm absolutely all for it.
Are you?
Yeah,
you
100%. Yeah,
do it.
Yeah, of course.
So, look, to answer your question, if your friends are jumping off a cliff, put on that base jumping suit and get after it.
And have a go.
Have a go. Get in there.
Imagine getting back to the pub and they've all done a really good base jump and you've just gone, oh, no, thanks. I said, well, my friends, if they're jumping off a cliff, I won't jump off. You seem like an idiot.
You would sound like an idiot.
And you've got to walk all the way down.
Listen. You must fit in.
It's important to fit in.
You must fit in.
Yeah.
And always go with the herd. Do you know what I mean? Run with the herd.
You don't want to be caught away from the herd.
You don't want to be running away from the herd.
Hello. Have you ever seen any documentary, any of the buffalo that go away from the herd? They're the first ones to die.
Get fucked
So
up
everyone
by
always
lions.
goes, don't follow the crowd. Bruv.
Safest place to be.
Keep an eye on it.
Safest place to be.
To keep an eye on it.
You must.
To stand still in a moving crowd is to oppose it. Don't be silly.
Don't be silly. You're being silly again. So look, and that was from Frankie.
Harvey. Play the outro music.
We haven't got any.
Fuck's sake, it's meant to click in there.